Welcome back to Let's Play Sakura Spirit. It's been a while. I'd already forgotten what the hotkeys were for this game. Crap. Yep, my mouse. Anyway, let's continue. I only got about an hour to record, but so I won't be finishing this game today. I'll try to finish it tomorrow. Today's the 18th of January. It's been a long time because I've been busy. 2 of my 4 wisdom teeth have been pulled. My last 2 will be pulled on the 6th of February. But anyway, I won't be doing the voices anymore, except my own voice, the main character, because it's too much of a pain for me. I have no experience in it, and yeah. One may say that this might be a good learning point for me to do it, but it's annoying. I find it annoying. Anyway, let's continue. A few minutes later. After that little incident, we relocated to the kitchen, and the smell of food filled the air. Despite the younger girl's easygoing attitude, always humming some cheerful melody, I found my cheeks still burning from embarrassment. To think that a girl would say such a thing. I quickly shook my head to clear the thoughts from my mind and turned towards the elder sister. This soup is delicious. Is Maiko-chan usually the one doing the cooking around here? Well, the first step to getting your wedding sesh is to become a good housewife, and that includes cooking. I added this with a bit of amusement following Machiko's comment. I took another sip of the soup. For a few lucky guesses, the dish had turned out pretty well. That's not necessarily true, Machiko-san. All we have to do is find some way to make the villagers accept you, but I guess I'll need to learn some about the village itself before we can do that. The pale-haired woman shook her head slowly, her ears flattering against her head as she did. The what hair woman? The pale-haired? You talking about Machiko? Of course not. I wouldn't abandon someone just because they are a different species, unless that's not the way of the Gushiken Takiro does things. That's not the way Gushiken Takiro does things. However, I do remember the village elder telling me that it wasn't just the fox spirits. It sounded like humans and spirits everywhere have been on bad terms for a long time. Do you know why, Machiko-san? Only now you're learning stuff? Hehehe. Well, this Suyuri character lives in the shrine, right? We should try asking her for some ideas. I was somewhat taken back when Machiko suddenly challenged way of speaking. It reminded me of the times I'd been told to go visit the doctor when I was younger, complaining and throwing tantrums along the way. But isn't she the only one who can help us? She can't be that bad, can she? Besides, if anything happens, I'll protect you. Well, the banana peel I can believe, but the born and die? How does someone even die of boredom anyway? Right, how the hell do you take away the... Oh right, now I remember. I think it was like this. Yeah, like that. Screenshot, where are you? Gotcha. Despite Maiko's cheerfulness, I couldn't help but wonder what happened between Machiko and the Sayuri for her to react so strongly. I decided that maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to spend some time with the two sisters to get to know them a bit better. Well, I do have 2 weeks until I need to go back to my own world, so there's really no need to rush. How about we do something else instead? I'm sure Machiko-san wouldn't mind the distraction. Sure, that sounds easy enough. Let's get us some delicious fruit, Maiko-chan. Hi. As Micah lead me towards the garden of the impressive mansion. What does the house even look like outside? She seemed a little quiet. I thought she had something on her mind. I wanted to ask her about it, but something about the way her ears sagged and her tail hung low told me that probably wasn't the best idea. I decided I would simply try to cheer her up. So, which do you prefer, Maiko-chan? Apples, grapes, or oranges? We could gather all 3, but I bet we can grab a few for ourselves first. Apples, I guess. I knew a fox spears was a friend of Ane-sama, who loved apples. I can't remember her name though. I guess my head's a bit hollow. Apples are awesome. Crunchy on the outside and sweet on the inside. And your head isn't hollow, silly. If that's true, I think I'd still be stuck in that jail cell. Ane-sama did most of the thinking though. I just sort of went along with what she said. Well, someone has to take the lead. Besides, I'm still grateful for your help all the same. How about... I playfully flicked Maiko's forehead with a grin. See? It doesn't sound hollow at all. I'm sure there's plenty of clever thoughts in that pretty little head of yours. Oh, meanie! Now you know I'm right, at least. Anyway, let's get those apples, shall we? Okay, I'll get them. You grab that basket over there. Alright, let's go down to business. Get down to business. Feeling hyped, I went to grab one of the basket steps nearby and returned. I heard a bird in the background. I returned to Maiko, who had started climbing one of the trees. Yeah, definitely hear the bird. This is a mansion? Huh. Okay. Need to... Oops, I accidentally stopped recording. Ah! Pressed the wrong hotkey. As usual, I suck. The girl looked accustomed to climbing, but her small hands had me a bit worried. Hanging from the branch with just her legs, she checked to see if the apples were ripe. Maiko-chan, be careful, you might slip out. The girl had thrown an apple at me, and while my reflexes let me catch it with ease, the force behind it stung my palm a little. Of course, I did extravagate a bit for the girl. I'll be fine, Taka-kun. I've been climbing these trees all my life. Even the most experienced climbers end up running into trouble if they aren't careful. I smiled weakly at the girl's excited attitude, placing the apple I caught in the basket. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm a fox spirit. I won't fall. I'm super careful. Watch, I'll grab the apples near the top. Wait, Michael-chan, unless you can fly, I don't think you should go for those. Fly? I can't do that, silly. Takaku, who has ever heard of a flying fox spirit? Yeah! As expected, the moment Maiko tried to reach for one of the apples near the top of the tree, the girl ended up losing her footing and tumbled down towards the ground with a loud cry. Maiko! My reflexes quickly kicked themselves into gear, trying to catch the girl before she hit the ground. Unfortunately, I didn't notice the apples scattered around the tree, and as a result, ended up tripping over them. I managed another few steps, and I was able to catch Maiko before I dropped to the ground. My hands rubbing once, and I heard that bird again. I'd recovered from the fall. I tried to sit up, but I found myself held down by a small but substantial weight. Hello? Opening my eyes, I look up to see Maiko sitting on my lap. Owie! I guess I tried to reach a bit too far. Thank you, Takahiro. You saved me and you gave me a soft, well, kinda soft and kinda hard landing. Maiko-chan, do you mind? You're crushing me. Ah! Oh my gosh, Takahiro! I'm sorry. Gomenasai. As the younger girl grew increasingly flustered, I knew I had to calm her down. Gently, I tilted my legs beneath her, and she tumbled forwards, her head resting against my chest. You lucky bastard! I guess we've learned that fox spirits can be pretty clumsy, or maybe that Maiko-chan is even cuter up close than I thought. Damn you! What? Takahiro! I think you're mistaking me for Rene-sama. Nope. I'm talking about you. You have that innocent side to you that's really charming. I wouldn't be surprised if lots of people from the village would want to claim you as their adorable little sister once we've cleared up those misunderstandings. I'd be happy to call you my brother, Takahiro, but lots of people in that village are super mean. I just want to spend time with you and Ode-sama. Brother? How about darling? Darling? Damn it! You skipped a line, Takahiro. I'm sorry. Hang on. There you go. Thank you. As I was saying, darling, I don't know if I'm ready for that. Really? I think we'd be a cute couple. Truth be told, I think they would be a cute couple, to be honest. I mean, she is pretty cute. I have no idea what Takahiro looks like, but she is cute. Personal opinion. Really, I think we'd be a cute couple, a hero and a fox spirit, living happily ever after. Your sisters could say too. You could raise a little family. I mean, we already have a house, so you wouldn't have to worry about that, and any guy from my world would kill to have a pretty wife like you. Well, I really doubt they would kill to have a pretty wife like her, but they would probably want to have a wife like her. I held back a chuckle, knowing all too well that my teasing was taking effect, and yet I was also happy to see her spirits seemingly lifted. Thank you, Takani. I think Takaku would be better. Machiko-san probably wouldn't like another sibling, but I'm glad you cheered up. You didn't seem too happy earlier. The way your tail and ears were hanging low reminded me of a scolded puppy. Huh? Alright. I was just thinking, is all. You know all about that spell I wanted to try? The one that needs that silky wedding undies? Wedding sash. It's a kind of belt like the bride wears during the wedding ceremony. I doubt any spell involving panties would be a good idea to cast. Oh, I thought it was like a wedding undies that you wear on your wedding night. Anyway, the spell. I don't know why, but I wanted to try it for a little while now, and well, it's a gate spell. Not like those temporary ones, those are easy to make. A permanent one, like a portal to a different place. Huh. It sounds interesting, but are you sure it's safe? Silly, Takani. That's not the point. The spell, it might be able to help you. Well, that's good and all. I prefer not ending up in the middle of the sea or a live volcano. I think we should be a bit more careful with your magic. I'm a good mage. That's what Harry said when he told Atlantis he had a solution to their water shortage. I don't know where that reference is from. Huh? What's death. A city with high ambitions, sunk into the deep dew. Poor management. Anyway, my stomach is hurting a bit in real life. Ow. Ow. No, seriously, it's hurting a bit. I think it's best if we get an expert opinion about my stomach, but before we try anything like that, we're going to visit this Suyuri. Anyway, so maybe she'll be able to tell us if your spell will get me home. But Suchan told me I shouldn't use magic at all. She said it was only for her house or something. What? Maybe she had a reason for saying that, like maybe, I don't know, do spells have side effects? Huh. You're just like Odessa-sama. She forbid me to, but I showed her that spell could be helpful and I could control them, so she can let me do more research. I am not going to throw spells around like they're nothing. I'm not a dumb little kid. I'm not going to do anything. Besides, you seem old enough to take care of yourself. Not that I know how old someone like you might be, but beware of this dark side of magic. In most stories, magic usually comes with a price. Like, what would you do if magic gave you a terrible tummy ache, or headaches, or worse, diarrhea? Then you better prepare a gate spell to the nearest bathroom. I do get headaches, but those aren't really that big of a deal, and I get to do a lot of things for Odessa-sama. I'm not going to change that ever, so there! Ha! I already said I wasn't going to make you do anything. However, what you do need to change is the fact that you're straddling me and you're rather close, so I appreciate if you could get off. But you're so warm and soft. I could just curl up and sleep on you. Damn you, Takahiro! I could use a little bit of drink. If I can reach the bottle, I got it. Anyway, damn you, Takahiro. Lucky bugger. Wait, wait. Don't go falling asleep, honey. Just kidding. I'll do something like that out here. Maybe tonight, though. It's only fair since Onea-sama got to do it, but more importantly, dessert! We need to get back inside. Onea-sama is probably wondering what's taking so long. I couldn't really argue with this girl's impeccable logic. With a smile, I helped the girl to get to her feet and gathered a few fallen apples in the basket. You know, I did say I wouldn't do voice acting for these girls, but if it's just like one-on-one scene, then yeah. But if it's like 3 person at the same time, then forget that. We returned to Machiko and enjoyed our dessert together. It wasn't too long after that, and then Maiko started to feel sleepy, so Machiko took her to bed, wishing me a good night. The next morning, my tummy still hurt. This room is rather spacious, you know. I woke the next morning to the sun filtering in through the wooden blinds, yawning loudly. The girls had very gracefully given me an entire room for myself, and it was certainly a lot bigger than my room back home. I can say that again. It's very big, actually. This thing is even bigger than my living room. But actually, it's the size of my living room. Yeah, it is. It was still early in the morning, like a bit before breakfast. I decided to spend a short moment to gather my thoughts. It was clear that in order to learn more about my situation, I would need to pay a visit to the shrine. Maybe I could even find the answer to some other question that had been lingering in the back of my mind for a while now. The fact that Machiko seemed surprisingly nervous at the mention of Suyuri's name made me wonder about their relationship. What would possibly have happened to Machiko's react like that? The apparent hostility between the villagers and the fox spirit was another issue altogether. Of course, I couldn't forget about the fact that I needed to find a way to get home as well. Just as I finished gathering my thoughts, Maiko's voice resounded from downstairs. "Takari, breakfast ready!" Could you get to this, Sama? Sure, we'll be right there. I quickly made my way out of the room, finding myself within one of the corridors of the mansion. Once I took a screenshot outside. Once outside, it didn't take long for me to find Machiko wandering down the corridor, her lips curving into a smile when she saw me. What the fuck is wrong with my stomach? Is it gas? Sorry about this. Massaging my stomach a bit. Once outside, it didn't take long for me to find Machiko. Oh, right, I already read that. No need to look for me, Takakun. Maka's voice reached me loud and clear. Good morning, Machiko-san. Did you sleep well? It was a decent sleep, although perhaps a bit lonely, however. Okay. You seem to be getting along well with my little sitters, Takani. Was it? Perhaps I should consider you my rival for the quest for the heart of my dear Maiko-chan. She seemed to like it. I guess I'll be stuck with that name for a while. Oh, is it not to your liking? Well, perhaps you would prefer Darling instead. That smile. You were watching us? Indeed. Ow. It was taking you both such a long time. I grew rather curious and snuck out. But I didn't see you at all. Well, I'm a fox spirit. Hiding myself from humans is like playing hide and seek with a child. Then why didn't you use your hiding skill to hide from the guards? Now that you mention it, the thought never occurred to me. Well, it certainly was fun getting chased by them. Unfortunately, Maiko does not have the best control over her change. She is far too something, and is unable to maintain the illusion. It's her one magical blind spot. I'm sure it wouldn't have been fun if the Sundara tyrant had caught you both. It certainly would have been an unpleasant experience. Then again, I'm sure you would have ended up saving me, wouldn't you, Takakun? I noticed a subtle change in Machiko's voice, and the sweet sugar-coated words caused my cheeks to flush red. I really wasn't any good at dealing with the girl's flirty attitude. Those ears. I want to pet her. Stepping backwards, I turned towards the stairs at the end of the corridors and replied in a hurried tone. But Maiko-chan is waiting for us. And with that, I rushed towards the kitchen, with Machiko giggling behind me as she followed. Ah, good morning, both of you. I fixed up some eggs and toast for you. Drink. I fixed up some eggs and toast for you. There are some oranges too. Ah, wonderful. Thank you, little one. You're getting better at this. To wake up knowing a pretty girl made me breakfast is good to be alive. Perhaps you would enjoy having one resting by your side as well. I would like that. That's a bit overkill, especially considering the condition of sad girl. Of sad girl. Sad girl. Wait, who are you talking about? She or her? Left or right? I don't know. I recall the sight of my Chico sleeping yesterday and my cheeks immediately grew red. Oh, we're talking about her. I quickly sat down at the table, trying to distract myself by changing the subject. So, thanks to you two, I learned a little about this world. How about I return the favor and talk about mine? Do you have anything you want to ask? Oh yes, I know. I want to know. What are the spirits in your world? Spirits, you say? I thought about her question for a moment before I replied with a sheepish grin. Well, in my world, spirits only exist in folk tales. They appear in stories and certain religions, they even worship them. But it's not like we got them running around like they do in this world. Folk tale? Worship? Your world is strange, Taka-kun. Aw, it's kinda boring. What about your life? Are you a defender of your village? You said something about a judo before. What's that? You mean judo? Well, in my world, people go to this place called school. It's basically a place of knowledge, where you learn a lot of things before you're considered an adult in our society. But in my world, defenders are known as the police. They keep things peaceful and such. I'm just a student. I guess you could say that I'm studying to become a defender, not just of my village, but of my whole country. It was a bit extravagant, but it felt kind of nice to call myself a defender. That sounds weird. Is the police like the army or something, defending the whole nation? Your world sounds very strange, Taka-kun. I wouldn't call it strange, Machiko-san. In this world, that's weird. But no, the police is like the guards in the village. We do have an actual army that defends the country, though. Either way, your world sounds like fun, especially if everyone's like you. Anyway, Oh, no. Oh, dang it! These oranges have all worms in them. Ew. Vanessa, but did you forget to check them again? Oh, how terrible. I must have been overcome with fatigue and never got in around to checking them properly. Boo! Big old lazy meaty. I just have to go around and get some apples instead. As Maiko went outside to grab some apples, my eyes drifted towards Machiko's, who was observing me with a content smile, clearly pleased with something. Did you chase her away? It's such a relief to see her in such a good mood. It's been a tough few months, I must admit. She's been accepted her magical skills have not been progressing as well as she once did. We all have our ups and downs, especially when it comes to studying. I still remember how I used to dread exams. So little time for my judo. It made me rather sad at times. That does sound rather stressful. Tell me, Taka-kun, what is it that you're studying? I am intrigued by this school notion. I am intrigued by your ears. Damn it. I hate when I do that. Mouse. Well, my situation is a bit different from most. Hey, does this work? No, it does not. Yeah. Well, my situation is a bit different from most. Well, I go to school like everyone else. I actually aim to become an athlete. To explain it in the way you understand, an athlete is someone who practices certain sports, and those who are among the best are representing their country. Damn it, I'm stuttering a lot. I have an upcoming tournament that will decide whether or not I will be able to represent my country in judo. Sorry. I think I understand. Your focus is your strength, while still gathering knowledge to allow yourself a multitude of options. An interesting method. I should thank you. I guess you could say it like that, but why thank me? I believe your sudden appearance in our world had a lot to do with Maiko's newfound joy. I can hear her singing something I have not heard in weeks. She's singing? It warms my heart to see her so overjoyed. I believe it's because of you. Thank you, Taka-kun. I doubt that's the only reason, but you're welcome. I smiled bashfully at Machiko's before continuing. Then again, I should also thank you for busting my rear out of jail. I don't want to think about what I would what I would have been doing if I was still in the care of this dear tyrant. You're most welcome, but please do not be so hard on my Bio. Who's Bio? Who's Bio? Bio-chan. Her many things are beyond her control. But perhaps it's out of her hands for now. As I wish to thank you, Takun, I've been wondering how I might repay you for bringing such joy to Maiko-chan. Repay me? For a moment my thoughts drifted towards a certain idea, but my cheeks quickly turned scarlet red as the thought. I couldn't ask something like that of her. I'm not sure I have anything in mind. I think your smile's enough. You're a true gentleman, Takun. It's a shame, Todd. I was thinking of such naughty things too. Wow. Wow. Okay. I'm a bit speechless. Well, actually, I'm more a bit dumbfounded. But, yeah. What do you guys, what do you viewers think about this? She's practically offering herself to him. The fox-beard giggled to herself as she turned towards the garden, watching Maiko struggle to descend from among the trees with an armful of apples. Maiko-chan, there are only 3 of us. Your belly does not count for a 4th person. Speaking of a 4th person, it's not like you two used to talk a lot with the spirit of the shrine. Why do you get so nervous whenever this Sayuri is involved? That's not important. Oh, that's a giant bird carrying the seed of the world tree. Oh, maybe it is. I should go in. Sayuri Donna, thank you for visiting us today, but Chika-san is right over there.